Last minute changes to SmackDown see a title match cancelled, a new WWE commentary team has been revealed, and a WWE NXT Star has vacated a championship. It's time for the news. Last minute change to SmackDown last night. Shinsuke Nakamura was, of course, scheduled to defend his United States Championship against LA Knight. That didn't take place. Instead, prior to the show, Nick Aldis releasing a video on social media saying that there would be a tournament to crown a number one contender for that US title. That took place last night. 3 matches followed by a triple threat. So we saw LA Knight versus Santos Escobar. We saw Solo Sikoa versus Andrade, and we saw Carmelo Hayes versus Braun Strowman. LA Knight going on to win the triple threat match, essentially postponing his match with Shinsuke Nakamura. They haven't announced a date as to when that match will take place as of yet. It's not an ideal thing to happen, obviously.
No, and when it's the expected outcome, it's sort of the crowd are always kind of a bit like, but at the same time, it proves LA Knight as a strong competitor. Yeah. If you look at it purely from that perspective, he's managed to hold on to that spot. He hasn't had it taken from him, and they could have taken it from him, and we could have seen a lot of running around in order for him to get back to that position.
I see why some people are saying, it's a waste of time. He had the match anyway. But there's a very likely, a good reason for this happening, essentially. The reason for the last minute change is because Nakamura's very, very close friend, Osamu Nishimura, died this week. And so it's very, very likely that Nakamura right now is grieving. He could be on his way back to Japan. He could be in Japan. He did appear on the show, but in a pre-taped video package, essentially saying that he's going to beat whoever wins.
I think, we're going to see this match potentially now that we've had the little tournament, and maybe if it's going to be a little bit more time, we might see it down the road, maybe headlining a SmackDown or on a PLE card, potentially.
It's interesting with the US title. There's been a lot of criticism, and I don't really want to sit here too long and talk about the criticism of Nakamura's US title reign, given what's happened. But there has been a lot of criticism about Nakamura's US title reign. And at the moment, I'm not sure it feels sort of like a big title defense feels worthy of a PLE. And I really, really hope that they've got something big in mind with the LA Knight stuff that can lead us on to a premium live event. The next one after tonight is WrestleMania, of course. And right now, the US title, I can't see it being defended at WrestleMania. I'd like it to be. I want to see Nakamura as a good champion. Every time Nakamura gets a belt, or most of the time Nakamura gets a belt, it's underwhelming, and that sucks. It's Nakamura.
Even with the re-debut, it's very enigmatic, very, very charismatic. The presentation, everything was just on point. I was like, okay, we're going to see a whole new side to Nakamura. But again, it just feels the company kind of goes, and they have like 3/4 of the idea, and then they just go, now what do we do? And it doesn't ever feel like they're ready to really push that storyline further forward.
It's been such a constant in Nakamura in WWE.
Bewildering. Do you remember him coming into the company? He was the best wrestler on earth. 2016
was it? And it's like he had the match with AJ, which was a bit of a disappointment given their history together. And then it's been stop-start to say the very, very least. Anyway, we move on. Speaking of last-minute changes, The Rock appearing in a video on last night's SmackDown, being a despicable, horrible man, stood in front of his private jet. He gifted Cody Rhodes a beautiful new truck, and he also gifted him a weight belt, which said on it, Cody's soul, plus the date of Dusty Rhodes' passing. He went on to say that he knows that Cody is going to make the right choice. They are, of course, set to meet at tonight's Elimination Chamber premium live event, where Cody will give the answer and possibly his soul to the People's Champion. In an update, Worked Wrestling posting, as if it wasn't clear in how it's been coming across on screen, this wasn't the original plan. WrestleMania plans have been in flux since The Rock made the call to be back in the mix the past few weeks. We have no idea what's going on. You're all right.
It's like, what is it? Why? We had such a nice clean route. We had the potential for Cena, Cody, Punk. We had all this stuff just sitting there, and now we're fighting over his soul. Is it? I said this to Fraser last week. Is it going to be an Undertaker style situation? Is the weight belt? Is he going to bow to it? it's so Hollywood, but like not in a good way. It feels very much like how things used to be when the script would just get ripped up and it's like, it's a nice plan you've been working on there for 8 months, but we're going to go with this route now.
He can do what he wants, essentially.
I know he can, but it doesn't mean he should.
No, of course. No, I couldn't agree more. I actually kind of enjoyed the promo last night. I think heel Rock's amazing. Like,
of course.
Last year, some of the best work of his career. Yeah. Genuinely, it was amazing stuff. He does go on a little bit. It's because he's such a great talker. And he goes in with maybe a few bullet points in mind, and he just rambles and rambles and rambles. It always feels a bit drawn out.
He's off that era, though, right? Like you'd see Rock out there for 20 minutes with a mic, just absolutely ripping people to pieces. So I guess it's just part of his DNA when it comes to wrestling. But
he's one of the gregreatest talkers ever. There's an argument for him being the greatest talker ever.
I thought we were done with the weight belt stuff. No, we're back to weight belts. I
can't get my head around it, but to look at a positive here is that it is so unpredictable. Oh, he got a new truck as well. No, positive. It is so unpredictable. I have no idea what's happening at WrestleMania. Hopefully things are a little bit more clear after tonight's show.
He could just rebuff him and just be like, what are you doing? And like that could be it, and The Rock loses it and comes out and costs him a massive match at Mania that isn't versus The Rock. But
I don't know. Cody's saying no tonight, obviously. There's no way that he's going to agree to that.
Dyed jet black, and he's just all like angry.
It becomes who has The Rock got on his side. There's obviously reports that an unexpected winner is going to be in the men's elimination chamber
Dwayne
match
The Rock
tonight.
Johnson,
Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Is that person going to be on Dwayne's side? Time will tell. You don't have to wait too long. Myself and Andrew, of course, doing live reactions tonight, starting at 10 p.m. British time. If you would like to join us, followed by What Happened At and WTF over on Patreon as well. A new WWE commentary team has been revealed. This is for WWE Evolve, and an unexpected lineup has got to be said here. Yesterday, Shawn Michaels, head of NXT, of course, announcing that Peter Rosenberg would be one of the announcers for the show. Joining him on comms is only bloody NXT's Robert Stone. He revealed that in an interview with PW Insider. So Rosenberg, but
he brings the energy, right? I think Rosenberg.
Does he?
Well, I think
no, he does. Yeah,
I think he brings like the tone, but I just never really kind of got away with him. But I think adding Stone to the mix, Stone, you've got that insight of an actual talent, like an in-ring performing talent. Handy. So hopefully they're going to be able to bounce nicely off that kind of straightforwardness with a bit more wacky, kind of over the top, but at the same time with the mindset of an in-ring worker.
Stone's got heaps of charisma. Rosenberg, I can't, you know what, like, I only really see him on the pre-show panel and everything, but I don't think he adds much value. Hey, maybe I'll be proven wrong on this. I hope I am. I really hope I am.
Mauro Ranallo.
Exactly. I was kind of hoping for Borash on this one. I thought we might be getting Borash. But
Borash would be so good.
No such luck. We finished with the news that a WWE NXT talent has vacated a title. This will be a shock to absolutely nobody, but Ricky Saints, formerly Ricky Starks, of course, has relinquished his Defy World Championship. It's been a hell of a reign. Really, really impressive stuff. He defeated Kenta for that belt on February the 7th and then debuted on NXT TV on February the 11th. He hasn't defended it. He's not going to defend it. There's going to be a tournament taking place at Defy Aftermath on Saturday, March 15th in Washington Hall. Obviously, the timing with Ricky Saints has been bonkers anyway, but surely he knew that he wasn't going to be around for too long.
The talk was that it was going to happen down the road, like this year, so it could have been even a few months from now. So even a few months with the Defy title. Defy are one of the biggest independents in the world right now, definitely one of the most popular. So I think having him with that title even for a couple of months,
or a couple of days.
Right in the middle. But yeah, the fact that it was quickly like, oh yeah, no, mate, I've got to go now. Sorry.
He did big up and everything. There was a video on social media. They let him do a quick video for Twitter just saying that it's a huge career milestone for him, but he does have to prioritize new opportunities, of course, referring to NXT. I mean, as I say, everything came together so quickly with that Ricky Saints stuff.
We didn't even know his name for a week.
No, we didn't know his name for a week. It was very hastily put together.
Going to be one of those people who I keep saying his old name and then correcting myself over and over and over again.
I'm totally with you there. Anyway, right, we'll be back with more news very, very shortly. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you in a bit.